Yeah, what's up, Raider Nation? Yeah, got some film study right here. We're gonna take a look at Chip's offense. This is my first time really getting an in-depth look at it. Wanted to share it with you all, see what you think about this. I want you guys to kind of match up our personnel with what you see going on. I think you'll start to see why they went with some of the draft picks that they went with. As far as the receiver position, the running back position, the linemen that they got. So let's take a look at what our Raider offense is going to be looking like this coming season. And shout out to my guys at 11 Warriors for the footage, man. This guy broke down the blocking and everything. Man, better than I ever could have. So appreciate you, my guy. And guys, pay attention.
Play our right side. They want to make sure that the defensive tackle that's lined up right in between them doesn't cause penetration, right? So instead of both stepping laterally, you can see the guard is actually going to step down, make sure he seals off any gaps. There's no way that 95 is going to create any penetration. But behind that, you'll see the tight end, because there's nobody really right there in his immediate block or gap between the tight end and the tackle for him to block. He's actually going to end up coming all the way behind that block and lead up on and get to the Mike linebacker. Now it's a pull, right? It's a pin and pull scheme. Now watch where he comes from. Number 2, the middle linebacker, is doing a great job mirroring the back. There's nobody that's gotten up to him, so he's clear. He seems like he's going to be the free hitter to make a play. You know, the line up in front, it seems to be doing a good job, but number 2's in the way. And all of a sudden, just as the back sticks his foot in the ground to cut up field, the middle linebackers ready to make a play, and yet there's a blocker right in his face. Again, watch the backside tight end, comes behind that double team, gets up to the block, gets up and springs a big run. Now, again, I believe this is probably a line call that they're taught at the line. The guard and tackle are letting that tight end know, hey, we're going to take number 95. You got to come behind us. This is not a call in the huddle, but it's a nice way. It just shows the way that Chip teaches the details of the run game, something that Ohio State can definitely benefit from, making sure they've always got numbers towards the point of attack, not getting out defended. Okay, let's talk inside zone. The other big part of Chip's offense for years, complement to the outside zone we just showed. Again, just great fundamentals along the offensive line. That's the big difference. Now, as you'll see right away, this is a 6-man defensive front. There's only 5 blockers. Why in the world are you running inside zone in this situation? Most coaches would do anything to get out of it. But the zone read element is still very much a part of what Chip's willing to do. Now, he's going to use the quarterback to block this blue box defender, that edge. That's going to be the zone read. He's going to hold him with the threat of the quarterback run. But the key to this play, at least, is going to be the work of the right side of the offensive line, 54 and 72, the guard and tackle. Now, as I've highlighted with the yellow arrows, the nose tackle is right up on the center. He's actually going to slip to what is our left, try to go through that A-gap with the Mike linebacker and an A-gap blitz to the other side. Now, 54 does an excellent job picking it up. This comes through reps. This comes from practice, from scouting. Just an excellent job of picking this up, right? Happens so fast. The linebacker times it up almost perfectly. 54's got eyes on him right away, though. 62 handles to make sure he's got the center or the nose tackle. And 72, excellent job. I'm going to cut off because, as you can see, just as the back's getting the handoff, there's already a hole. There's already a gap. There's nobody behind. Just an excellent, well-blocked play. It was 6-on-5 in the box. Who would run that? Chip Kelly. Why? Because of the way he teaches it, the fundamentals of zone blocking. Any team who's going to have him on their staff is going to benefit. Ohio State, no different. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. I know I made you eat your vegetables with some zone blocking fundamentals here, but this is really a great example of some of the fun stuff Chip will do to mess with defenses. Now, I've highlighted where the center is just to really show this alignment. Now, you've got an extra tackle over to the right side. That's an unbalanced look. You can see that that's a tight end all the way to the opposite side on the left. Now, the sideline, the boundary is to our right, which means they've got an unbalanced formation to the right towards the boundary. The back is actually also to that side. This is a goofy look if you're a defense. You're wondering what is going on, where are they running it? And as the play progresses, you're going to see two things right away. This is a pin and pull scheme. We showed a little bit of that already. Down block, down block. And you can see right from the get-go, we've got two pullers. You got the guard who's going to kick out the end here, and you got the center who's actually going to come around and lead up. So this is very similar to a counterplay, actually. Now, it's got pin and pull principles. It's really pin and pull blocking, but it's going to work like counter, right? Because as you watch, look at the back. The back's shoulders are square to the line. He is not going laterally like you would in outside zone. He's looking straight downhill, right? And that's helpful when you start to play this back. You can see, again, down block, 56 is going to, again, come out, seal the edge. We get that. Center comes up. You actually get a crack block from who's our tight end who is split out. Again, another fun, interesting formational look. Spraying it for a nice big gain. Again, watch this in full speed, how quickly this hits. Down, down, kick, lead, go. Interesting, good work from the quarterback to get out in front. More good effort, but just a really fun way of blocking this up. Definitely something different. I don't know if you'd call that counter, you'd call that G lead, you'd call that pin and pull. The whole point is defense doesn't know what's coming. They're not ready for it. Chip will bring these plays out probably once a game. He's, for every opponent, he's got something like this where he's taking a base blocking scheme and he's dressing it up in a new way to keep the defense guessing. We got another pin and pull from an unbalanced look into the boundary. You can see the center in that blue box. You can see the overloaded lineman all the way to our right, 3 linemen to that direction. There's only one guy who's actually going to block down and pin in this instance. That is our tackle, our original tackle here. He's going to block down. Everybody else is going laterally, right? Very simple. Seems like a normal outside zone. The one thing I want you to pay attention to as we get going, there's one extra guy who's here, right? Can you figure it out? Who is this? What's this guy doing? Where'd he come from? Where'd that little wide receiver come from, right? All right, let's run it back real quickly. You can see from the get-go, he's in a nasty split, almost replacing a tight end in this unbalanced look. There's nobody over him. He's not cutting anybody off right away. And so he's actually going to pull around like everybody else. This is something that you see a lot in the NFL from teams like the Rams. This is a big part of what makes Cooper Kupp so valuable to the LA Rams. Obviously, Chip taken from some of those things that he sees at the next level. That's almost a lead blocker now. Now, on this play, 19's not going to make any great blocks, but this is something, just another way to line up and run a pin and pull scheme a little bit differently. Ohio State would do things like this with Emeka Egbuka last year before he got hurt. I would definitely anticipate with Chip there. Again, something different, a different way to dress it up, unbalanced, pin and pull into the boundary. How as a defense am I supposed to be able to take that on? Always keeping defenses guessing, taking simple concepts, doing it in a different way. One last look. We've got another unbalanced look from that Oregon game 2 years ago. You can see the tackle over to our left side as we look from this perspective. But this is actually an interesting front side power, right? So you can see the defense is all jammed up in the middle here. They got really tight alignment. So what's the best way? Why would you run power right into the middle of that? They're actually just going to run a simple front side power wrinkle. This was something that you saw a ton from Oregon teams with Chip near the end. Their teams would clog the middle against inside zone. And so he would say, great, I'm just going to take what you're giving me, right? So how does that work? You're going to see down block, cut off from the center. And then this front side guard is going to pull and lead up. Now you can see the back. It's a pretty simple read for him as we get going here. Really nice, easy wrinkle here. Defense is all caught inside. There's nobody around the edge here, right? Easy to lead, take on that middle linebacker. The actual Mike is back here. He's not able to do anything on the play. He's completely neutralized. He can't get through the wash. He can't get over the top. Again, back front side power behind an unbalanced line into the boundary. Tough look, 33, tough play to have to take out a pulling guard like that. Good luck next time. All right, so we've got the same play lined up with the sideline view, end zone view. Just want to give you a different perspective at the same time because this is probably one of my favorite wrinkles that I saw watching some of Chip's tape at UCLA. Now, I've highlighted what is the right guard over here on the left side, right? You can see him because as this play gets started, you can see a tight end coming right in motion. He gets got down here. Now, as the play gets started, what is this guy doing, right? Who is he blocking? Who in the world could he possibly be blocking here? He fakes to nobody in particular, right? Boom. Great feint. Well, as we see over here on the right, this is a beautiful trap play because 58, this is a wonderful changeup. This is something that Chip really isn't known for, of course, but he's pulling out this giant library of plays just when he needs it. Again, watching this all in full speed. We'll watch on the left first. Fake block, bam, bam, bam. On the right side, hits quick. Just really shows the encyclopedic old school football knowledge. It's not all speed. It's not all gadgets. Sometimes it's, if I know what you're going to do, I'm just going to come up with a new way that's not really new. Been running it for years, but I'm going to come up with a different way to hit you in the mouth. Same idea. We're going to be really physical. If we see the defense doing something that we can take advantage of, we're going to do it. That's how Chip operates. This is the USC defense led by Alex Grinch. They're down at the 1 yard line, and for some reason, they have not substituted. This is a base look. You've got a 4-3 effectively defense. This is an outside linebacker, 4 down. Here's the mic. So this is a 4-3 that you're essentially playing at the 1 yard line. So what does Chip do? I'm going to bring in 2 tight ends. And of course, as we can all see right here, we've got a nice T formation backfield. This is a 32 personnel. This is as heavy as you can get. And what is he going to do with it? He is going to run the most old school off tackle double lead for a touchdown. He is willing and able to dial up schemes to do what you do not want him to do, what you are not prepared for him to do. Obviously, we see a nice little natural bubble here, right where the play is going. Tough look for USC, of course. But the point being, they're asking their starting running back 33 to be a fullback. They've got another running back acting as a fullback. And all you have, if you're at USC, is you've got 2 DBs to take on those pullers, nobody else to make a tackle. He's going to hit you in the mouth if you're not willing and you're not ready for it. So all the speed, all the options, all the tempo, Chip Kelly ready to be physical whenever you aren't. Now, as we've said on a couple of different occasions here already, Chip loves to bring out these unique formations for every opponent. It seems like there's always some package that every opponent's never seen. He saves it, dials up a new one every week. Now, against Oregon a couple years ago, obviously we've already seen some unbalanced. You can see a heavy personnel, that's 71, that extra tackle down at the bottom of the screen. But where your eyes go, it's where everybody's eyes go, is what is this weird Maryland offset eye and the shotgun? I've never seen a formation like this. But what you can see Chip does in a really interesting way is the defense is trying to figure out what to do, but all this play really is it's a counter play because the whole offensive line is blocking down, and we've got one blocker to kick the edge, one blocker to lead through. Typically, those guys would be coming from over here, right? That's how you'd run counter. Not this time. They're already the front side of the play. Now you can see the back's footwork. He's going to take an inside step and go. We're running full speed so everybody can see it. Bam, bam. Nice lead again. Watch where these blockers are coming from. We got down block, down block, down block. And then these backs or tight ends who are lined up in the backfield, that's your counter play. Happens really quickly. The defense doesn't know where to come from. They're struggling. They're bringing a nickel blitz, and you got a nickel defender who's taking out a tight end. Easy way. Watch it from the end zone view. Imagine lining up on defense and seeing this. What in the world are you supposed to do there? How do you line up? What is your call? Has anyone ever seen that look? Of course not. So again, outside, lead, down block from the tackle. Just an interesting new wrinkle. You see them every game from Chip Kelly in the run game. Just fun stuff that we see. We're going to show one more counter play, which is a great example of how Chip will test the eye discipline of defenders, how he's consistently showing them so much window dressing, things to distract them from what is actually happening on the play. So as you can see, double tight ends over here to the right side. Before we even get going at all, they're both going to shift over to the left, forcing the defense to account, move. They've got to move on the fly. And then just you can see a quick motion here right before the snap. Wait, got somebody coming in. That's number 10. That's a wide receiver, right? He's motioned in very quickly just as the ball is being snapped. But as we get started, what you'll see, who is pulling on this play? We got a nice counter, right? We got a down block, down block, down block. Both those tight ends down blocking, okay? The two players pulling are center, not a big deal. He's going to kick out. But actually, it's going to be that wide receiver. He is actually going to lead around the same way you would often see from a tight end, right? So we saw a one receiver getting involved in the blocking scheme before. Now we've got a second, right? So as we lead the play through, running back takes, we can see number 10. This is a wide receiver on a linebacker. And watch the job he does here. Really squares him up, creates the hole. Watch it one more time on 53. He's going to create enough contact. Now we got poor leverage from number 4, the safety. Nobody's inside, creating this big cutback lane. But again, this is a wide receiver getting involved in the blocking scheme, pulling on a counter play. Really nice design, testing the defense, keeping them out leveraged. They're not sure where it's coming from. Good job by number 20 here to climb all the way up, right? But just a nice counter play design, using the wide receiver, using your personnel in different ways.
So, yeah, Nation. So, some numbers for Chip's offense, and this was at Ohio State. The film we were watching was actually him at UCLA, prior to him going to Ohio State and winning a national championship. He was only there that 1 year. His team only had 28.7 attempts, passing attempts per game. That was 87th in Division I last year. So, bottom tier of the country in passing attempts. However, 29 passing touchdowns, which is 10th in the nation. All right. So not chunking the ball a lot, but running the ball so well that you're able to chunk it for touchdowns because you're catching them by surprise, you play action it, right? You probably got little short passes you running down on the goal line. The passer rating of his quarterback was 168, which was 5th in the country, which bodes well for Geno. He's already a good, accurate quarterback, and it just means he needs a top-flight run game. That's why we brought in Ashton Jeanty. If you see some of those little off-balance plays or whatever with those wide receivers lead blocking, now you see why they drafted Jack Bash. Jacoby Myers is already a proven blocker downfield, if you know anything, if you've been watching the Raiders. All right. And then you got Bowers. That's going to work on some of those as well, I'm sure. So that's what you want to look for. This is the type of offense we got. What you guys think? I'm kind of excited. Just win, baby. Big.